Hello, and welcome to the first episode of my YouTube channel. So since this is my first episode, I wanted to take a quick moment and talk a little bit about me and the purpose of the channel. A few months back, I left my career in healthcare and found myself with extra time on my hands. While looking through some of my pictures, I realized that when I travel, there's usually a theme. I like to visit places that are unique and creepy and off the beaten path, as well as places to satisfy my sweet tooth. So here we are, a completely new thing to me, making videos. Well, actually, I just have this one video, not videos just yet. So about the channel. I love to travel, and when I do, I tend to over-research and plan, so I thought I'd share that information with you and hopefully save you some time. These pictures are from some of the places I have visited, but many of my videos will highlight places I hope to visit one day. I'm from Texas, so I thought it would be fitting to start with the city in my home state. So off we go to San Antonio. Welcome to San Antonio, Texas. Let's start off with a few spots you might consider staying during your visit. These hotels are old, and of course, with old places come ghosts. Here are a few of my picks. The Menger is the oldest hotel in Texas. It was built in 1859, only 23 years after the Battle of the Alamo. The hotel was built by a German immigrant named William Menger. Mr. Menger owned a brewery and saw the need for a place where his drunken patrons could sleep the night off. He died at the early age of 44, and his widow and son ran the hotel until 1881 when they sold it. Here is a news segment highlighting some of its paranormal activity.
Haunted locations in South Texas would not be complete without a stop at the historic Menger Hotel. The hotel was built near the Alamo, and not many guests or employees leave without experiencing something. Erica Hernandez tells us about some of the hair-raising stories.
San Antonio has that reputation of being haunted all over.
And one of the most haunted places is the Menger Hotel. It first opened back in 1859 and has had so many high-profile guests from around the world. Ernesto Malacara has been working at the hotel since 1977. He has seen and heard it all.
These are things that have happened in the hotel, some of which are hard to explain, but nonetheless they are true and they have happened.
Many different spirits are alleged to haunt the hotel, and Ernesto has also had his own encounters with some of them.
I'm looking at this photograph in the corridor, and all of a sudden the lighting gets dimmer, and then I feel that somebody's standing behind me and is literally trying to bore holes in my head. I turned, there was nobody there, but I felt this feeling of panic.
Many guests have stayed in one of the rooms in this hallway, and a lot of them have reported seeing a dark figure at the end. Doing a search online, we found several guests had posted pictures or videos of that alleged dark, shadowy figure. And Felicia Powell sent us this photo. In the front, a child in red, but the dark figure behind the kid, she has no idea who or what that is. Despite us not experiencing anything the night we were there, many others have a ghost story to tell from the Menger Hotel.
Okay, now let's talk about a few of the ghosts you might encounter during your stay. Sally White worked as a chambermaid at the Menger, and in 1876 she was shot by her husband and fled to the Menger, where she died a few days later. Mrs. Menger paid for her funeral, which is documented in a ledger that is on display in the lobby. Sally is said to be seen on the third floor, still conducting her chambermaid duties. Richard King was a steamboat captain and entrepreneur who established the King Ranch in 1853, which is still the largest ranch in the U.S., covering 825,000 acres in South Texas. Mr. King was a regular guest and died of stomach cancer while staying in his suite. His funeral was held in the parlor of the hotel. The suite, room 2052, he routinely stayed in, is available for reservations. Guests report seeing Mr. King in his suite, doors opening and closing, along with hearing voices and footsteps. Battles equals soldier ghost, and San Antonio is in no short supply of either. The hotel was open to wounded soldiers who needed nursing care during the Civil War, and the ghosts of the injured soldiers are still seen today, including one that whispers. There are also sightings of a young Alamo defender in the courtyard looking toward the Alamo in distress or in deep thought. One famous guest that is still reported to visit is Teddy Roosevelt. The 26th president recruited men to serve the 1st U.S. Cavalry, also known as Rough Riders, inside the hotel's bar, and his ghost has been seen leaving the bar, and some even report to have heard his voice. If you're looking for a spooky place to stay with tons of history, here is an idea of what a reservation for two starts at. I see some as low as $114 all the way up to $234. But before you leave the Menger, make sure to try the mango ice cream. It's been served in the hotel for over 100 years. It was originally made from mangoes that were grown in the hotel's own courtyard. You can find this sweet treat in the dining room, and reservations are strongly encouraged. It's open for breakfast, brunch, and lunch only. If you love mangoes as much as I do, you can find the recipe for their famous ice cream linked in the description below. And now moving on to the Gunther Hotel. The Gunther opened up in 1909 on a piece of land where a hotel has always stood, dating all the way back to 1837 with the Frontier Hotel. Okay, so the Gunther is currently undergoing renovations through December. Let's check out the pictures. Oh my gosh, look at that lobby. Wow. Okay, let's check out the rooms. Whoa. Okay, I don't know how much the rooms were before, but it looks like they would be quite pricey. I wasn't able to check how much. I checked in December and they haven't opened up reservations just yet, so y'all make sure to check back. Now let's go over a few of the ghosts you might encounter. For 3 days in 1936, blues artist Robert Johnson stayed in room 414 and recorded numerous songs, including one of his most famous, Crossroad Blues, which was said to be about the rumors of him selling his soul to the devil in exchange for his musical talent. He died at the age of 27 under suspicious circumstances, according to some reports. You can stay in room 414 where he stayed, and his ghost is still felt, heard, and seen, but guests report that it's not a menacing presence, but instead positive. Ingrid and Peggy. Two feminine entities known as Ingrid and Peggy have been seen on the second floor. One has long dark hair with a white dress, and the other one is seen wearing flapper girl style clothing. Guests report hearing furniture being moved, arguing, doors slamming, and being tugged on. Walter Emmerich. Okay, so this one's more true crime than paranormal, but there is some paranormal because of the true crime. In 1965, Walter stayed in room 636 under the alias Albert Knox with an unknown blonde woman. A maid went into the room to complete her routine cleaning, only to find Walter in a bloody room with a bloody bundle in his hands. He quickly fled the room, and when police arrived, it was clear a murder had taken place. They found a gun shell on the bed, a slug in the wall, along with bloody footprints, pieces of flesh, strands of blonde hair, and ladies' undergarments. Guests report seeing a woman with outstretched arms, strange hammering sounds, an old woman also with outstretched arms, and capturing a blonde woman in photos that wasn't there. Room 636 was split and is now room 617 and 620. We will continue the story at the St. Anthony, but first a little background. The St. Anthony Hotel opened in 1909 and was built by 3 cattlemen. It was very luxurious for its time and was said to be the first hotel with AC in the whole world. The Adolphus Hotel in Dallas, also known to be haunted, is known to be the first hotel with electric-powered AC. This hotel has a lot of haunts with quite a variety. First up is the young couple. A young couple can be seen in empty rooms embracing or drinking cocktails. Guests even go down to the front desk to report that their room must be overbooked, only to find that no one is in the room when they return. The 10th floor. Guests report seeing a man with a crooked toupee on the elevator and being tapped on the shoulder, but most reports are of him slapping a belt against the doors loudly. People also report hearing footsteps walking behind them. Lavender Lady. Never seen, only smelt, this ghost is named for the lavender fragrance people smell when she is near. She is known to hang out in the library and rearrange books, as well as turn the lights off and on. Lady in Red. The lady in red is seen rushing into the ladies' room on the first floor and into one of the stalls before disappearing. It is said that she was a guest at a party and had a heart attack in one of the stalls and was later found dead. Men's locker room. Footsteps can be heard, doors open and close, and shadowy figures are seen. Now we will circle back to Walter Emmerich. We left off with him running from the Gunther, which was now a crime scene. 2 days later, he checked into the St. Anthony and asked for room 636 again, but it was not available, so he settled for room 536. Staff was suspicious about his behavior and called the police, but Walter ended his life before the police could enter the room. Room 536 was split into 2 rooms during renovations. The police searched extensively for the mysterious blonde he was with at the Gunther, but the body was never found. If you are interested in staying the night, rooms start at $220 all the way up to $468. If you're wanting to explore these locations plus others, check out these 2 ghost tours. Curious Twins. Owned by a psychic medium and his husband, they offer all sorts of unique experiences, including private and group tours on a weekly and monthly basis. Additionally, you can get psychic readings as well as cleansings. And they even have a spooky travel podcast. Make sure to look them up and listen. Sisters Grimm. Owned by San Antonio native and her husband, these two know their history and even wrote a book all about the haunted history of San Antonio that I've linked in the description. They offer both bus and walking tours. And look, another place to stay. This Airbnb has been thoughtfully decorated for the macabre traveler. So if you're traveling with the family or wanting more space, it's worth checking out. Now moving on to some places to find spooky wares. Sisters Grimm Oddities Parlor. So not only does Sisters Grimm have a ghost tour, but they also have an awesome store that is the meeting place for their tours. There is also an online shop, so check them out and give them your support. They have some really cool finds. Creepy Classics. This store specializes in horror, including VHS, handmade decor, and clothing. You can support this small business by visiting them at the Rolling Oaks Mall. House of Nightmare Boutique. Also specializing in horror, this store is filled with all sorts of things that satisfy your fix for creepy. Historic Market Square. The land where this historic market originally stood was gifted to the settlers by the King of Spain in 1730 and moved to its current location in the 1890s. There are food vendors as well as plenty of shops selling Mexican wares. If you are looking for Dia de los Muertos items, this is a good place to start. This area is very touristy, so beware. On the weekends and during special events would be times to stay away from it if crowded places give you the creeps. Stickers and stars. You can find Halloween stuff galore here, so please get your treats here instead of the big box retailers. And check this out.
The motto for one local business seems to be, why wait until October 31st? That Northside shop deals in Halloween horror 365 days a year.
And as Katrina Weber shows us, it features one item that can give goosebumps to even goblins.
From its eerie entryway to all its creepy corners, this is more than 1,200 square feet of scare. With all of this merchandise, there's no doubt that this is a horror lover's dream, but there's at least one thing here that's not for sale.
All right, follow me.
Back in her own scary space is where Sarah, the haunted doll, hangs out most of the time.
It's funny about that smile. We do feel it changes.
Dulcinea adopted her by accident when she bought the tiny coffin from an oddities dealer.
We couldn't get her out. The coffin is not just shut, it's sealed. It's sealed shut.
It seems that Sarah doesn't exactly stay put, though. Dulcinea believes it's this ghostly girl who's been making her presence known, pulling pranks like knocking down clowns and literally making customers' hair stand on end. That reputation now has people coming in just to see Sarah for a Halloween scare any time of year.
So yeah, go pay them a visit and see Sarah while you're there, but make sure to make an appointment. The Haunted Dollhouse. If you're into dolls, you should check out the Haunted Dollhouse, where hundreds of dolls are displayed, some of which are said to be possessed. If you find yourself wanting frequent visitation with the dolls, they offer several types of memberships as well as a variety of options for paranormal investigations. There is monthly events plus mini wedding packages. This Krampus looks awesome and it's available for your next gathering to scare your children into becoming perfect little angels. Also make sure to check their website out for special Halloween events. If you're looking to grab a drink, let me suggest a few interesting spots. Zombies Bar. You can order horror-themed drinks including some in blood bags, syringes, and specimen cups. They also have a huge shot and cocktail menu as well. The next one is for taxidermy lovers. The Buckhorn Saloon and Museum. Opened in 1881 by Albert Frederick, the taxidermy motif was born from Albert accepting horns and antlers as payment for beer and whiskey. His wife accepted rattlesnake rattles and created art with them, which is still on display. If you're hungry, they serve food as well. It's typical American fare like burgers, salads, and chicken fried steak. They also have a museum that includes the history of Texas Rangers and an exhibit on American carnival sideshows. If taxidermy makes your heart skip a beat, this bar is a must-see. If you're seeking a caffeine pick-me-up, I've got two places to help you out. First up is Graves Coffee. Owned by two friends that started out of a truck, this coffee shop now has a brick-and-mortar location. Next time I'm in San Antonio, I have to go. The dark and gothy aesthetics are calling to me. Look at those drinks. A must try. Next up is Flocores Coffee House. This is a cute coffee shop with a punk vibe. The owner, who is also a chef, is very active in the community and has brought that to the coffee house, offering craft nights and a book club. And now I'll go over some random places that are worth checking out too. First, there is the Grotto. Created by San Antonio native Carlos Cortez, this concrete sculpture is located at the northern end of the Riverwalk. The 3-story structure features a waterfall, carved faces, and winding walkways. There are benches and a picnic area to sit at and enjoy the surroundings. I'm going to throw in a couple of world's largest items since they came up in my search and in case you happen to be in the area. They really are a sight to see. First up is the world's largest Virgin Mary mosaic. Finished in 2004, this 40-foot tall mosaic is located at the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center and resembles a prayer candle with the Virgin Mary on it. Another Guinness Book winner is the world's largest cowboy boots. This sculpture is very fitting for Texas, but was originally made to sit outside a place of business in Washington, D.C. It was relocated to San Antonio in 1979, shortly after being installed. The boots, measuring 35 feet tall and 33 feet long, have sat at the North Star Mall ever since. Bracken Cave. If you like wildlife, specifically bats, this stop should be on your list. Located in the northern outskirts of town, approximately 1 hour away from the downtown area, lives the world's largest colony of Mexican free-tailed bats. The property was purchased by Bat Conservation International in 1991. During the summer months, BCI hosts visitation nights, and you can see as much as 15 million bats leave the cave on their nightly quest for food. To visit, you must be a member, which costs $45. So, we're getting to the end of this video, and I would like to end it like I like to end my day, and that's with something sweet. Pan dulce is one of my most favorite type of baked goods, and I can never pass up a concha. So first up is La Panaderia. This bakery is owned by 2 brothers from Mexico City who grew up selling bread that their mom baked. Eventually that led to them selling on a larger scale in Mexico before opening a bakery in San Antonio, which is now their adopted home. There are 3 locations to choose from. I went to the downtown location and the line was too long when we first went, but when we came back later in the morning, it was much shorter with no wait. Next is Mi Tierra. Located at the historic Market Square, this bakery and Tex-Mex restaurant has been open since 1941. If you're looking for a late night meal, they're open 24/7. This restaurant is very touristy and gets crowded, so keep that in mind when planning your visit. Okay, now we come to my final find, which is the super cute bakery called Alabria Panaderia. I love the pastel colors on these conchas. When a bakery ups the cute, I can't resist. The marinitos with concha toppings are something I haven't seen. I'm gonna need several of those in addition to those sweet little conchas. Well, that's it. I did it. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I hope you will like and subscribe for more creepy recommendations. Have you had any spooky experiences in San Antonio, or have any other recommendations for the unique traveler? Please let me know in the comments below. Until next time, bye.